Hey, what's going on, everybody? A lot of people have been asking if I could do a video about my personal story. Because although I'm putting out these videos every day, you're listening to my advice, a lot of you don't actually know who I am, where I've been, what I've done, and how I got here today. Now, a lot of people out there actually think like I'm some ex-professional, and that's how I know all these things, and I have the best training on the internet, and this guy just must have the best training experience and best soccer experience in the world. Well, the truth is, I'm just a normal guy. I'm just a normal guy who's extremely passionate about this sport, and I've taken the time to study, and I've taken the time to put in the work, and although right now I'm not playing at a professional level, I'm still striving to be my best, and that's what's extremely important. So let me tell you how I got to this point. I grew up in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, a hockey country. Soccer is not even a sport, and when I was growing up, it wasn't even close to where it is today. Now today, we're still hundreds of years behind the rest of the world, but we're making small steps in the right direction. So I grew up in Calgary, Alberta, on the west side of Canada, and I didn't actually start playing soccer until I was about 9 years old. And that's pretty crazy considering today I know kids are starting like 2, 3 years old. So I didn't get into soccer until I was a bit older, until about 9 years old. And I did have a bit of natural talent. I picked it up pretty quick, and I started doing really well. I started playing on all the top teams. So I played for like the Calgary Selects is what it was called, and that's basically like the all-star team for the city. Then I progressed onto higher teams. I went on to represent my province, or you might consider your state or your regional team. And that's just all the cities in that area. The best players go and represent that team. So I played for ASA, or Alberta Provincial Soccer Team. Then after that, I actually went into the Canadian national squad. I was on the under 16 Canadian national team. So things were going really well. I was doing really well, and I mean, Canada is a pretty huge country, so for one person from a small city in Calgary to represent Canada, even at that young level of 16, it's a great achievement. Now, after that, that's when things kind of went in the wrong direction, because at that point, you would say, hey, this guy is 16 years old, he's representing his nation, he's probably going to be professional one day. And sadly, in Canada, it was put into our heads that you're not going to go pro. People from Canada don't go pro. And although there was people out there doing it, it wasn't really talked about. It wasn't encouraged, and it wasn't pushed upon you. And there really wasn't any good information and motivation out there. So basically, when I got into high school and I was about 16, what was in my head was, hey, if you're not professional, or you're not in a youth academy, or you're not overseas by 16, you're pretty much done. Your soccer career is done. Now, looking back on that now, I know that's not the truth. If you are in a youth academy at that young age, fantastic. If you are connected with a professional team at a young age, that's amazing. You're really increasing your chances. But even if you're 20, 21, 22, 23, there's still a great chance for you to play professional if that's what you really want to do. So at that point, I was going into high school, and like all kids in high school, there's bad influences, and I lost my focus on soccer. So although I was a great player, I was still playing, I was still doing really well, but I wasn't really serious about it. I wasn't committed about it. It was now just something that I did for fun, because I had all these negative perspectives or people's opinions in my head telling me, yeah, you're not going to make it, you might as well just give up, just play for fun. So I lost my focus, started getting into some bad things. What do people do in high school? Start partying, start chasing girls instead of chasing your own personal dreams, these sorts of things that everyone goes through. And I lost my focus. And it wasn't until I had to go to university that I decided, well, hey, I should probably get back onto being serious about this. So luckily, I went to a tryout, an open tryout for the college or university team, and it was for the University of Lethbridge, which was another city in Alberta. And the coach, he really liked me, and I said, yeah, I'm kind of thinking about going here. I have these other schools where I might go as well. And he said, well, hey, you know what? If you come here, you're a pretty good player. I'll get you a scholarship. So basically they paid for my tuition to go to university. It was pretty great because a full tuition, full school scholarship in Canada is not that common. Now, compared to the US, I know in the US, college tuition fees are crazy. They're like over 5 years, you're probably spending, I don't even know. Some schools are $20,000 a year. Some schools are $80,000 a year. Ridiculous numbers. Okay, Canada isn't that high, but luckily I was still able to get my tuition covered. So even if you don't go professional or you're a young player and you're thinking of, hey, I want to progress in life, I want to go to college one day, well, it's great for you to work on your game so one day you can get money, you can get your school paid for, your education paid for because of your soccer skills. So that's a great benefit. So I was really lucky to get that scholarship and go to this university and get my education paid for. Now, during that time, I struggled. Okay, I wasn't playing my best. I really didn't like the coach. I really didn't like the team. We weren't a very good team. And I was starting to not enjoy soccer as much as I used to. It was hard to get out there. It was hard to struggle every game. It was hard to not have the respect of the coach. It was hard to not play as well as I knew I could. But the truth was I wasn't investing in myself. I wasn't putting everything into my training or studying my game or trying to improve myself. I was just feeling sorry for myself. And eventually in my last year, I could have played one more year for that school. I decided, you know what, this is just more frustrating than fun. I'm not getting anything out of this. I'm not enjoying this, and I'm not going to play this year. So I decided to quit the university team. Now, you may think that's a bad thing, but looking back, that was probably the best thing that ever happened to my soccer career. Why? Well, I started to miss the game, and I started to get hungry again. I started to get ambition again. I started to get motivation, okay? I wanted to come back and prove to those players that I was better than I was. I wanted to prove to that coach that he was missing out on me, or he made a mistake in the way he played me, or the quality of player he thought I was. So I was getting motivation. Now, this motivation was coming from other sources, and it should have been coming from inside of me from the very beginning. But it took that to spark that in me. So that was a good thing. And what happened is I started training crazy. I started studying my game. I started being dedicated to becoming a better player. And I got back into it that next season. I didn't play for that team. I played on a team that played against those guys in the local league there, and I ripped it up. I probably had the best season of my life. I scored the most goals I ever scored at that point, and I was just like a whole new player. And that was the time, that was my last year of university there, so I was coming back home, and I just brought this fire, this momentum with me. And I took it and I actually decided to play because I had one more year of eligibility. You can play 5 years of university or college soccer in Canada, and I had only played 4. So although I had graduated, I could have still played one more year. And the coach of the University of Calgary, this local team, or the local city that I grew up in, I was back home now, he heard that I was back in town, and he heard about how well I did in that other city and in the league down there, and he heard that I had one more year of eligibility. So he told me to come out to a practice, and again, he was very impressed with the way that I played, the way I conducted myself, and the impact I could make on the field. I was always a good player, but until I started analyzing myself and saying, hey, how can I be an amazing player? How can I be an impact player? I never really took my game to that level that it should have been the whole time. But now I wasn't just a good player, I was a game changer. And I was a player that coaches wanted to have on their team. So again, this coach offered me to pay for my fees. Now, I didn't really have to get any courses because I already had my degree, but I just had to do the basic enrollment. So I just had to be enrolled in 3 classes, and he offered to pay that for me. So that was great again, because of my soccer skills, because of my passion for the game, I got a free ride on this team, and this season ended up being a great season for me. I ended up being the MVP of the team. I I wasn't leading goal scorer. I was playing more of a holding mid position for his team, but I was leading in assists, and I actually was awarded at the end of the season an award for outstanding leadership, for being a great leader, being a positive influence for the team. So that was a pretty cool award, and I was very happy to receive that as well. And at this point, this is where I started realizing, like, hey, if I can improve myself, if I can take myself from a good player to a game changer, to an impact player, then maybe I can do this for other people. Maybe they can experience that joy of accomplishment, that joy of transformation. And that's when I decided to start the Soccer Essentials. So you're watching these videos right now on progressive soccer. Some of you out there know I had another channel, YouTube channel, called the Soccer Essentials. And that's where I started making these videos. So I started pumping out those videos, and what did I write here? I wasn't making, like, I wanted to help people, but I wanted to see if I could make money doing what I love. And what I love is playing soccer, being involved in football. So I wanted to see if I could make some money. Now the truth is, those first like 2 years, I didn't make a dime. I didn't make a cent. I put in all my time, all my effort. I was helping people. I was getting great response. People were thankful for the work that I was doing. They were seeing improvements, but I wasn't making any money. And I finally figured it out, and I was starting to make a bit of money on YouTube, and then suddenly YouTube closed my account. My battery's gonna run out here. Got 5 minutes left, make this short. So my account got disabled because I used copyrighted music. If you're ever gonna make a YouTube channel, do not use copyrighted music. Use the music that YouTube gives you. But anyway, I was just starting to make money, and then they said, no, you're done, you can't make any more money. So that's when I decided to start Progressive Soccer, and that's the channel we're on today. Okay, so I was basically back at square one, and I still wasn't making much money, but I was affecting people, and I started to realize, like, hey, this is probably my purpose in life. This is probably what I'm meant to do. And when you can start to see that you're actually helping people, you're changing people's lives, then you know you're probably on the right path. So although I wasn't making money, and I'm still not making crazy amounts of money today, I know this is what I'm meant to do. And I know if I just stick with it, pursue it, eventually the money will come. Now, I'm just going to stop this camera for a second, guys. I got to record the camera, and I'll be back, and we'll finish this story. Sorry about that, guys. Let's get back to this story. And as I was saying, the Soccer Essentials was over. YouTube said, hey, you're done. You can't make any more money. So I decided to start Progressive Soccer. And that's when I started to realize, like, hey, I'm actually making a difference in people's lives. I'm contributing to the better good of the world. I'm helping people improve at the game they love, making them happy. And not only helping them improve in soccer, but helping them improve in life. Showing them that if they believe in themselves and they want to achieve something, they can get it. And that really made me understand that, hey, this is what I need to do. Even if the money isn't coming right now, if I stick with this, eventually the money will come. So at this time, I was just playing in my local league. I was doing really well. I was always one of the best players in the league, leading goal scorer a couple of years, if not in the top 2 or 3 players. Becoming a more complete player, a better defender, a better attacker, a better team player, helping my team win games, being a leader, being a captain, learning all these skills, and just becoming a more complete player. And I was feeling really good about myself. And I said to myself, like, you know what? You can play professional somewhere in the world. I'm not saying that I could play professional for Bayern Munich or in the Premier League. But what I'm saying is there are tons of professional leagues around the world, and I know I'm good enough to play somewhere. So I started doing research, and I started to find out that you don't have to be 16 to play professional or to make it big, to sign a contract. There's guys signing their first contracts when they're 23, 24, even like 27 or 28, some people. Obviously, they're playing in lower professional leagues. They're not making much money, but they're still achieving that goal. They're still making it happen. So it was still possible. So I started to look into it, and I started making the right contacts, doing the things I had to do to set these things up, and I actually ended up setting up some trials in Asia. I was going to go to India, to Vietnam, and to Thailand. I had trials with different teams in those countries, and I was going to go later in the year. Now, I was ready to go. I was really focused. I was training really hard, getting into great form, and then I found out that my girlfriend was pregnant and we were going to have a baby. So I had to make a big decision. Now, I could either go on this trip and risk having security and all that stuff and chase this dream for myself, but I decided, and you may think this is a cop-out, but that's your opinion, I decided like, hey, I have a daughter coming, I have to provide for my family, I have to be able to afford a house and all the bills that come with that. I have to be able to afford to provide for a child, to nurture a baby. And more importantly, I had to be there to give my time. I didn't want to be on the other side of the world while my daughter was growing up. And I didn't want to be on the other side of the world when she was going to be born. So I decided, hey, I need to make money. I need to start providing for my family, and I need to get myself safe and secure. I need to sort this out before it happens. So at that point, I decided this is what I'm going to do. Now, do I regret it? No, I don't regret it at all. I wish I could have gone, of course. What I regret is that I knew this information earlier, and I regret not being focused and committed on it earlier. But then I started to think like, hey, maybe this is my true purpose. My true purpose is to help other people not make the same mistakes I did. So if you don't get anything out of this video except this one thing, do not make the same mistake I did. If you want to be professional, you're 14 years old right now and you're serious about this, now is the time. Don't wait until you're 24 and saying, hey, now I think I'll go after it. Go after it now while you're young. Try when you're young, fail when you're young, and keep trying until you get it. Now, today I'm playing in a local league here, and it's not a professional league, it's not anything crazy, but I'm still striving to be my best. I'm still hungry, I'm still passionate, and I'm still obsessed with this game. I'm obsessed with becoming a better player every single day. So that's another thing I want you to take from this. Even if you don't end up going pro, even if you don't want to go pro, you just want to be playing in your local community league, still strive to be your absolute best. So if that's your goal, if you just want to be the best wherever you are, if you want to one day make it to the big leagues, this channel is for you. These videos are for you. And it doesn't matter what level you're at or what level you want to be. All that matters is that you're striving to be your best. Okay, so that's basically my story up until this point. I'll put up some more videos. Basically, I'm trying to grow progressive soccer. I'm doing a lot of things right now just to make enough money to provide for my family and do all these things that I got to do to survive. But my dream is to grow progressive soccer, and I'm going to send some more videos out about that topic in the near future. So just comment below. Let me know. Did you guys enjoy this video? Did you enjoy that little insight into my life? Do you have any more questions? Do you have anything that you can relate to? And let me know what you guys think. Comment below. Please like this video. Please share this video. And I'll talk to you real soon.